here we are on this exciting 424 steam locomotive in Weardale. Apparently we're not allowed to film while it's in motion, so that was a railway employee. So have we got a message for our train loving Robert Downey?
Well, I feel a little guilty in that today is a special day on a steam train and Bob isn't here. It wasn't intentional, and one would hope that in the future he can join us.
I think that's the train whistle. I think. Oh, sorry, Tony.
Unfortunately,
yes, it was the steam whistle.
When he does join us, he won't be able to use his bus pass because the offer expires at the end of January.
That's right. Did you enjoy your time on the footplate, Jerry?
Well, I haven't got there yet. I've enjoyed my time in the cafe, but I'm looking forward to going on the footplate when we set off.
Right.
That's what we've been promised.
Hold on, I think I heard the whistle again. I think I heard the whistle again.
You did? We must be leaving.
Right. I've been told by the railway employee I've got to switch off. Okay, so anyway, enjoy the journey. Right, your turn now.
Absolutely fantastic. I got everything in. I had the train coming in. Then at the end I got U3. Oh no, U3 in. It's absolutely fantastic. Oh, it's
The assessment of the walk on Friday, whatever it is. In the absence of Mr. Preston, we will start with Mr. Firth for his opinion of today's walk.
Well, if you don't mind me saying, I think today's walk was very good. It's very clarty, but it was interesting. We don't come to County Durham very often. I think obviously the guy who organised it, I think Mr. Is it Evans? Yeah. Evans, the navigator. It is not one of his better days, but anyway, we got back to stand up in the end. Well, because it was dark, we came along the railway line and obviously got into a slight amount of problem. Made the day for a few people down at the station. But otherwise, I think I'd give it certainly an 8 out of 10. I think would be a reasonable assessment of today's walk. It's excellent.
And the hand dryer always gets a scoring?
The hand dryer here was excellent because it's the first time I've used a hand dryer for quite a lot. Well, certainly this year, and I think it's the best hand dryer I've had this year, definitely.
Right. Moving swiftly on. It was great for me to be out with the lads again this week. I think I've rejoined the human race, so I thoroughly enjoyed it. As you say, Evans's navigation was a little bit iffy this week. In fact, but for Cousin Firth, goodness knows where we would have finished up at the end of the walk, actually. But apart from that, very enjoyable, very wet. Great train journey. Bob would have enjoyed it if he'd been here. It's a pity he wasn't. But a thoroughly enjoyable walk, and I will give it 9 out of 10 because I managed to get to the end without collapsing. Over to you, Mr. Chairman.
First of all, I'm grateful for Cousin Firth's very generous comments. He came to our assistance on numerous occasions. I'm surprised there's no reference to the interesting aspect of today's walk, i.e. the steam train journey. No reference to that whatsoever. I thought that was a bit of a novelty and could
You are quite right. We forgot to mention the steam train. Yes.
Totally counteract the getting lost 17 times. But I mean, at the end of the day, we should all be very, very thankful that we've avoided the magistrate's court for walking on the railway line.
And also that his toupee stayed on in the high wind.
But I thoroughly enjoyed the day. As I said, no such thing as a bad walk. So thank you for your very high marks. Thank you.
Good, thank you. Right. Here would end the assessment, but it has occurred to us that one of our members didn't see fit to join us for dinner or for the assessment. But that just doesn't mean he can escape from our clutches.
Absolutely.
So I shall just terminate the video, saunter along the pub, and go in. So we'll now walk down the pub and we'll try and find him.
So all three of us go.
Good luck.
Oh, it could do.
All three.
Where is he? We'll find him somewhere. Good evening, excuse me.
If I can introduce Jerry Slater.
Could I just point out that you are on film, so carry on. The assessment is continuing. It has been pointed out that one of our members today thought he was a cut above the rest of us and wouldn't join us for dinner, and thought he had better company to pick on. Now I can see that he has, but nevertheless. But would you like to make a few comments on the walk regardless? Not mentioning the magistrate's court because he could be there in the morning. Don't tell Linda, right?
I'm not mentioning the magistrate.
Carry on.
But you are right, I am a cut above.
Yes.
Right. That's fine. All I can say about today is there were 4 blunders. And I was just so pleased that Firth was with us because he leapt in and he saved us from certain disaster, especially on the edge of the quarry. So as far as leadership goes today, I know it's a family thing. He's looking at me now. I'm going to give him 6 out of 10 for leadership.
Ooh, we won't like that.
Weardale is a miserable, dirty, muddy, awful place with steep hills. So Venue gets 5 out of 10, right? If you average that out, that gives him 8.
Returning to the fray and passing on the message to the chairman, I thought you might like to know that Cousin John, just because he's a cut above the rest of us and eating with his friends, thought he could assess the walk differently. And what he offered was 6 out of 10 for leadership.
6 out of 10.
And 5 out of 10 for choice of venue, giving an average of 8. So would you like to comment on that, please?
By venue, does he mean the...
No, he means Weardale, Wolsingham,
Well,
and wherever else we were.
I was informed this morning by Hannah that it was going to be dry all day today, and I thought that by coming up on the railway there was a little bit of interest for you lads who lead rather sheltered lives. That was the reason for the choice.
I think anyone who wants to do something just slightly out in the ordinary, and because of that he thinks it's crap. Well,
Exactly.
Would you care to continue?
well, anyone who thinks we do something slightly out of the ordinary, we go to County Durham, which is always a risk, always a chance. In instead of a fail-safe venue. I think deserves all my encouragement. And in fact, for choice of venue, I would give him 10 out of 10. And anyone who wants to give him 5 out of 10 is an absolute swell. He's you know, he should stay in his armchair on a Friday.
What was your word exactly?
Cad.
A cad. And that's keeping it in the family. I think that's all right.
Absolute
Okay.
cad.
All right.
And very, very surprised to see Cousin John come up with those sort of comments.
Well, I must admit it's out of character, isn't it? But he was sitting with the ladies at the time, so maybe he thought he had to sort of, you know,
Well, I
be a
don't
bit
think
uppity.
it's out of character.
And he didn't have the guts to come out with them in front of me or the
No.
rest of the company.
Well, I could take you along there to
no,
confront him if you wish.
The way I feel at the present, it's best that I don't come across him.
In fact, do you seriously think that Cousin John ought to be invited on the walk next week?
Well, it's quite debatable if this is his general attitude to the effort that's put in by everybody to give him a nice stand.
But bear in mind, he could well finish up in clink after being vandalism on Sunday, and if he doesn't, he'll be in the magistrate's court on Monday. So if he survives that, we might possibly invite him next week.
Hexham magistrates, here we come.
Right.